What you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a motherfucking ducky. You better ask somebody.
All right. Welcome. Pick 9. Pick 9. I keep saying that. Power ranking 9.
Who's ninth?
Who's going to be number 9? So number 9 for me, I have Saxy Taxi at number 9. Saxy Taxi, this hurts my heart because Saxy has been a borderline Power 5 team since he's been in the league. He wasn't in the inaugural year. He came in, he took over for a team. I don't even remember whose team. I do. It was Victor, the outgoing Super Bowl champion.
Champion.
Asterisk right here. So I have Sax here, and there's a bunch of reasons. Although he did upgrade his quarterback spot throughout the year, because his quarterback spot used to be really bad.
Yeah.
Remember, like Goff and Rivers were kind of like not making it happen. I like Drew Lock a lot this year, and so does Summertime, surprisingly. But look, he has Kamara and Bell. Kamara is a stud. Bell gets the touches, so I think that maybe he's not the guy he once was, but he's a very viable RB2. After that, he has Swift, which he just drafted. He's a possible flex play for Saxy. After that, his running back situation is bad. It goes downhill quick.
That's consistent with the league, though. Like, if you look at the league, after you get, there's a handful of teams that have, like, maybe 4 guys. But
Yeah, I guess you're right. But Quadri Olison, like, would you roster Quadri Olison? Do I have a Quadri Olison on my roster?
I might just, the rosters are different, you know what I mean? So, like, I'd have to go down through, but just with uncertainty of Gurley, like, who's the number 2 behind Gurley?
I'm thinking Ito, but I might be wrong.
Ito, Olison, Brian Hill, like, any one of those guys. I'd probably hang on to him, like, in a taxi spot, if I have the roster spot. So, I don't hate that he's on a roster.
Okay.
He's better than Greg Ward, right?
It's an Eagle. I'm not going to say yes. So what I love about Sax's team is Cortland Sutton. I'm a big Cortland Sutton fan.
Do you think Judy takes anything away from him? Like, do you?
I
think that
don't.
helps him.
I think it helps him. I think Judy gets. That's why I like Locke, because I think Judy gets his in like a slot role, an underneath kind of guy. And that's not saying he's not fast, but he's a route runner. He's a Diggs type of route runner. Cortland Sutton is a bona fide wide receiver 1 to me. That guy is a stud.
I love him. I like Sutton more than DJ Moore in a dynasty level. I know that people love DJ Moore, but
I think they're in the same boat.
Yeah, I love Sutton. I think I don't think having Judy. I think having Judy around actually probably helps him more than anybody that. Who did they have before last year? Oh, I guess they had Sanders there.
They had Manny. Manny played, but he didn't play all the games.
But he's produced with while Locke's been learning, so he's almost quarterback proof. So
Locke almost has like a I don't care attitude too. Like he's not afraid to throw the ball up.
Yeah, I'm not as big on Locke as most people. Like I actually prefer Daniel Jones to Locke at this point, but
Danny Dimes.
Yeah, but I can see where you might like Locke. Locke's in a redraft league. Locke's one of those guys that people are targeting as a sleeper. So
yeah,
I don't
well.
Not like that.
Well, I kind of like the connection here, and I also this year and this year only, Brandon Cooks. Many people may not be with me. Lots of people might be afraid of his concussion history, or they might say, he kind of peaked or whatever. He's 27 years old. Not only is he still semi-young, he's in the prime. He's in the prime of his career, age-wise, and now he goes with Deshaun Watson. The deep ball disparity between Deshaun Watson and Jared Goff is night and day. Like it's something like a 70% better difference. Now you lost Hopkins, so there's just tons of targets to go around. I'm thinking Cooks has a resurgence, kind of a la the years with Drew Brees.
Unless a concussion sneaks up or something.
Right. That's his only. To me, that's the only.
I
concern.
agree, and to be honest with you, you won't find an argument out of me with Cooks. Teams are still trading top-tier picks for the guy, so teams like him.
Yep. He's proven himself.
I don't like that he keeps bouncing from team to team, but, listen, Hopkins is gone. They got Randall Cobb. Are you scared of Randall Cobb? Not really.
No.
Fuller is probably, the consensus guy, but he's never healthy.
No.
So
he's a 4-catch-a-game guy.
And Cooks, before the concussions, I think I saw a stat where he played, every game for 4 years straight.
Yeah.
and he had 1,000 years with like 4 different quarterbacks or 3 different quarterbacks.
1,000 years.
1,000 yards, 1,000 yards with three different quarterbacks. So like, I like Cooks as I see your roster. I probably put Landry in front of him because I think Landry's the most underrated fantasy player.
Right,
maybe
and
in
I
the
really
league.
like Landry as a flex guy. That's why, I mean, I like Saxy's team. It's getting a little long
He
in the
fixed his
tooth.
tight end spot too. I have Saxy higher, obviously, but I like that he fixed his tight end spot. I like his starters. I like his running backs. I mean, if we're talking this year only, I like it. I like his team.
Yeah.
Not quite as much as others, but
Well, I'm a big Mecole fan, too. You know that. Like, I love Mecole, and I think they're talking about Mecole taking an expanded role and this and that, and anybody attached to Patrick Mahomes, I'm riding with. Hunter Henry is going to eat this year, I think. I think he'll do just fine as long as that guy stays healthy.
right.
On face value, Saxy's team is very good. Now, the reason I have him here is because the rest of the teams are also good in my eyes, and it was really hard to do, like, 7 to 9 was tough. Like, I had a hard time placing those guys.
Yeah, they're all, you could place them anywhere and kind of make an argument for either one. So, and to that point, my number 9 team is Bob Ross, and I know I just kind of hammered Adam for putting the Super Bowl loser at 10, but here I have a playoff team at 9, and the only reason I have that is because I just look at the team. And there's not a consistent running back with Bob Ross. I think it was Madison, Sony Michel, Dobbins, like nobody that you really have any confidence in starting.
I agree. That's one of the reasons I kind of separated Bob Ross from the guy before him. Where I placed Bob Ross is the consistency in the running back position isn't very good. Now there's talent there. It's just not consistent.
And have fun picking each week.
Right.
You're going to play Tevin Coleman. You're going to play Sony Michel. You're going to play Madison has no role if Cook doesn't hold out or isn't injured. And then you never know with rookies. And I think Ingram is going to be fine this year. I know a lot of people are on the Dobbins bandwagon, but I think Ingram's going to be awesome. He was awesome last year.
Ingram's the heart of that team. Like he's what keeps Lamar Jackson up too. You ever see that guy? He's like a hype man.
The Ravens are going to run no matter what. So. And then you look at his receivers, Bob Ross. He has 3 really good receivers. He has Hopkins, he has Kupp, and he has Ridley. But if you look at the end of last year, well, obviously Hopkins is a new spot. But I don't know how he'll do in there. You would think that they'll do fine, but there's a lot of mouths to feed in Arizona. That offense is going to be pass happy, obviously. Kupp was not good towards the end of last year when they went to the what do you call it? The 12 personnel where they started using 2 tight ends.
Wasn't it?
Kupp was not good. I was reading like he was like not even a top 50 wide receiver or something like that.
Which is strange because the year before he was a top 7 guy or something stupid.
Right, and so what I read was they might move Kupp to the outside now and play more 11 personnel. And I don't know. I'm just not buying Kupp at his redraft value, but. I mean, he's still Kupp, a top 20 guy at the very least.
And he has a good rapport with Goff, so I mean,
right. So, but
I feel comfortable starting
like
Cooper Kupp.
If they put Kupp on the outside, though, I don't like Kupp.
No.
If they leave him in the slot, I like him. But I don't know where you put him. You have Woods, you have Kupp, and then you don't really have anybody else.
Josh Reynolds, your guy. You have him on your team.
Josh Reynolds is for sale. By the way.
He's on the block.
If anybody wants to buy it, I do like Calvin Ridley. I think the Ridley torch is going to be passed, much like it was with the Roddy White years. Was that Julio Jones to Roddy White?
Yes.
Yeah, much like that. The torch is going to be passed here soon. It has to. And Ridley, I saw a stat in the red zone, is Ryan's guy. And so without Hooper there, and Julio Jones aging a little bit, I think he's a 31 maybe. I think the torch is going to begin to get passed, and I think Ridley is going to be a really good spot.
I disagree, and everybody loves Ridley. Everybody is on the Ridley wagon.
He's good.
I think, to me, Ridley showed that he is a good player. I don't think Ridley showed that he's a great player. I don't think that guys like Julio Jones will go quietly.
I'm almost willing to bet Ridley outscores Jones.
Oof.
I'm almost willing to do it.
So what are we betting here? Like a beer or do you want to bet a beer?
I'll bet a beer.
I'll bet. So this is official.
I'll bet a beer.
Julio Jones outscores Calvin Ridley in fantasy points in our league this
And
year.
no asterisks. Like if it's an injury, so be it. Oh, you asshole.
All right. What a dick. All right.
So anyway, back to Bob Ross. After those 3 guys, though, you don't got a lot of anything. You got Justin Jefferson, a rookie, obviously, who should get some
an immediate impact, I believe.
Possibly. I mean, that offense once threw 12 times in one game. So Paris Campbell, James Washington, Christian Kirk, maybe. Again, it all comes down to the Hopkins factor. I don't know where Kirk falls in line there. You also got other receivers there. You got Drake that'll catch pass out of the backfield. But again, very little depth at wide receiver. Quarterback position, Russell Wilson. You can't argue with that, top guy. So
And Brady.
I'm not a Brady guy. Everybody,
I mean, he's got Evans and
I think
freaking Godwin this year.
I think the Bucks are going to be like a 7-9, 8-8 team. So I don't think they're going to be as good. That's a different conversation. So I have Bob Ross at 9. His draft. Who did he draft? Oh, I liked Bob Ross' draft. He got Dobbins at 1-6, which I think is awesome value. He was the third guy on my list. I know some guys aren't as high on him as on. I'll take any Raven running back. I don't care who it is. If they can make Gus Edwards good, if they can make Kenneth Dixon playable,
You hear that, Harvey?
I'll
He
take
wants to trade for Gus
any
Edwards.
Ravens running back as long as Harbaugh's there. His second pick was Jefferson. I'm not as high on Jefferson as most people, but at 2-2, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
I think that might be the best pick in the second round. At least from a value standpoint, that's a good value.
P. Ryan at 312.
P. Ryan at 312 is another shot. Anytime you're getting down to that late third round area, you're looking at shots in the dark. I would always take I like the running back option because you just never know. Gase doesn't even like Bell, so Bell's not even going. Bell probably won't be there next year, and there's nobody else behind him. I don't think anyway, unless
Frank Gore.
Did they sign Gore?
They
Is the
signed
guy from
Gore.
the Packers still there?
I don't remember.
Remember the guy that fumbled on the kickoff? They waved him.
I don't know.
Anyway, but there's nobody there, so maybe P. Ryan steps in and becomes a
Kenneth Dixon is there. I think. I don't know.
And again, if he was on the Ravens, I'd take Kenneth Dixon. But,
So would Rocky.
so I gave Bob Ross a B+, which is actually the highest grade that I gave. I didn't give 1A. I gave Bob Ross a B+ on those two picks mainly. I thought Dobbins and Jefferson was great value at 1-6 and 2-2. I think the draft was really good. I just don't think the team overall will have the success that it had last year.
Happy little trees. I agree with a lot of what Rick had to say, and I'll talk about Bob Ross in a minute here whenever we get to him. I'm still on Saxy Taxi. Saxy Taxi's draft grade. So he's sitting at 1-3. Connor Flub's up 1-2. Jonathan Taylor and CeeDee Lamb are on the board, and for some reason, Sachs passes on both. And my biggest issue with that is that Jonathan Taylor, athletically, his comp is Zeke. He's up with those guys, the Mixons, just the size-speed ratio. And then he goes to one of the best offensive lines in the league who like to run the ball. I don't understand why he went with Swift, who went to the Lions, who took Kerryon early last year, and then they also are absolutely horrendous at running the ball. That was a bad move for me. That brought his
I don't
grade
mind that
down.
move. I mean, I don't take him over Taylor, but Swift, Kerryon's in a contract year. He'll probably be gone next year. I think Patricia will be gone next year too, so that whole offense could be totally different. And Swift, many people had him as the number one running back. I probably don't take Swift over Dobbins, or Dobbins was still there.
I would have taken Dobbins over Swift.
I definitely would take Taylor over Swift, but man, if your guy is Swift and he's a 3, I mean honestly, if I have Swift, if I want Swift, I'd probably try and move down from 1-3. I'd probably try to get something, but
that would have been the move,
but hey,
and
I
it would have
mean,
been
there's a lot of people
better grade.
that would argue that Swift's the best running back to come out of the draft. So I don't know.
I am not those people. I don't know how to pronounce Durante Evans' name, but he took him at 3-6. Not really sure why. I guess he's looking for a Henry injury, a dart throw. There were still receivers on the board. Wasn't Brian Edwards still on the board?
Yeah, well, Edwards was on the board for everybody, so you can.
Who else? Who else was there?
Where
at
did he
that
pick?
time? There was
Three?
a 3-6.
I have
There
it
were a
here.
couple other players on the board that I just didn't quite understand that pick.
Farland, Kelly, Edwards.
The Herbert pick makes sense. That makes sense. He's locking up. Tyrod passing the torch to Herbert. Didn't he go to the Chargers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Troutman, gotta be honest here, no idea who the guy is.
I love Troutman, the tight end.
Tight end. I know he's a
for
tight
the
end.
Saints. I like it if Breeze is there. I mean, it's just hard to project.
It's a long-term thing,
Who's
right?
gonna be there, right.
Like
So-
Cook's gonna be there this year, and we know that.
Yeah,
So,
I like Troutman, but I
um,
mean, again, it's a 4th round pick.
I
so.
think the thing with me is that the number 1 and the number 2 players in this draft, in my eyes, and Sachs passed on both of them, and for that reason only, I gave Sachs a D+.
D+.
And that might seem harsh, but I did the same thing with Doug whenever he had drafted Saquon. I gave him a bad grade because he didn't draft Lamar Jackson when he had the opportunity to upgrade his team. When the guys are there, take them. And I know he's your guy, and I may be wrong here, but I don't think Swift's outperforming any of these guys. So I'm putting Saxy Taxi here at 9, and I'm giving him a D+. Sorry, Sax. I love you. Taxi. D+. Ugh.
He only did that because he doesn't know who Adam Troutman is. So if you knew who Adam Troutman was, that'd be an A+.
Adam Trouser.